I'm in a serious mood, dear friends, but let me ameliorate it, let me lessen it, let me lighten it with some good news first. It may be today the 1 month anniversary of our losing the man who made shows like America First possible. God bless you, Rush. It seems like longer than a month, but at the same time, the industry is abuzz with the news that they may have found the best person to take that time slot. And I'm very happy for him, Dan Bongino. You know I am. I texted him earlier today. Dan's in negotiations, and I think he's going to close the deal. Nobody replaces Rush Limbaugh, but Dan is a warrior. God bless you. Congratulations, Dan Bongino. Why am I in a serious mood? We did a special YouTube hour-long interview discussion with two of my buddies, Colonel Kurt Schlichter and Gunnery Sergeant Jesse Jane Duff, about an hour ago. And in the middle of it, and it was fabulous, you can go and watch it on our YouTube channel for free, Jeff sent me a story, a breaking story. And I'm going to read it to you, and we can talk about it later. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said Wednesday that the Department of Defense will prioritize lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex people, whatever that is, in its decision-making processes. Not people based upon whether or not they know what they're talking about in terms of destroying our enemies, but your sexual preferences will be prioritized in the decision-making process. I'm gobsmacked, I'm shocked, I'm angry. China is laughing at us, Russia's laughing at us, the mullahs are laughing at us. We're going to discuss and unpack with Jason Chaffetz, Congresswoman Debbie Leschko, Mike Gallagher, Charlie Kirk, Jennifer Horn, Tom Fidden, and you. But first, another massive story. I am honored. I don't do this. I don't open the show with guests. But in this case, I'm going to make an exception because he's a very good friend and he's making news every single day with his new outfit. If Biden can call the Pentagon an outfit, I can call Just the News an outfit because it is important in its commitment to the truth. He is, of course, John Solomon. John, welcome to the opening of America First.
I'm honored. Thank you for making an exception. It's great.
Yeah, I think I do that. I think I do this for the President Trump, and John Solomon, and very few others.
Oh, God, I'm not in that league.
A handful. All right, but this story is remarkable, and you worked it out. So tell us what it is that you sent to me early this morning.
It is pretty remarkable. So about 2 weeks ago, we had a story in Just the News that a major Democratic bundler, a guy named Imad Zuberi, had been sentenced to 12 years in prison for an extensive scheme to route foreign money to Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and it seemed like an open and shut case of a Democratic scandal. Keep that in mind. Remember, Joe Biden keeps saying there wasn't a hint of scandal during the Obama years. Well, the Justice Department would like to differ because they have now convicted Imad Zuberi of routing millions of dollars of illegal foreign money to Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Crime committed. Yeah. Obama, Biden, Hillary, millions of dollars illegally funneled from foreign actors through this man's offices, Imad Zuberi, and then
he pleads guilty to it.
And he pleads guilty. He goes to prison for 12 years. But you, because you've been in the business for decades and you understand what the acronyms hide, what did John Solomon see in those filings?
There was one document where I think the judge mistakenly left blank an acronym that stands for the Classified Intelligence Protection Act, CIPA, C-I-P-A. What does that mean? It means that spy agencies and spy information was involved in this case. And the first thing I'm thinking is, how could there be spies involving in political donations? There's nothing to do with espionage.
Right.
And so that piqued my curiosity.
The antennae went up. John Solomon realized there's a bigger story. And what's the biggest story?
Let's start digging. And here's what we found out. That the entire time he was routing money and raising money for politicians and going on trips with John McCain and Lindsey Graham and raising money for Barack Obama, Joe Biden. He was working with the U.S. intelligence agencies in a significant way. How significant? There is a filing in the court that is 77 pages long that lays out all of his operations for the U.S. intelligence community going back to 2000. So first off, the first question that comes to mind is, what did the U.S. intelligence community know about his activities while raising money and hanging around with Barack Obama and hanging out? There's a picture of a selfie of him and Joe Biden that's in my story. Many other political figures you can see the pictures of. This guy was totally connected. He was working in the U.S. intelligence community. But then we find out the reason that, and the second question is, well, if he's so connected, do you think the intelligence community would go to bat for him, try to protect him because we want to use this guy in future operations? And what we found out was that was on track. All he had to do to get a simple deal, get $1 million fine, no prison time, was roll on Donald Trump. Tell a story that Donald Trump, when he donated $1 million to Donald Trump, Ahmad Zubairi, that he used foreign money. The problem was Ahmad Zubairi wasn't willing to lie. He did not use foreign money to make a donation to Donald Trump's inaugural committee. As soon as he wouldn't go along with that statement, prosecutors threw the book, and he went from $1 million fine offer to 12 years in prison and $18 million in fines, which, by the way, is historic for any donor crime case that I've covered in the last 30 years.
So like Mike Flynn, the authorities said, if you tell us what we want to hear, if you give us, manufacture, implicate Donald Trump in this, it's going to be much better for you. But this man refused.
Yeah, because he didn't want to lie, right? He didn't use foreign money. He was adamant about it. And then all of a sudden, they're threatening his wife with prosecution, just like Mike Flynn's son was threatened. And they start throwing all these other cases. Now let's look at some of the charges and what I learned about him. One of the charges they threatened him with was obstruction of justice, because some of the materials on his computer were erased while he was on Justice Department, under Justice Department investigation. What I've been told from my sources, a U.S. government intelligence scrub team went in and did the erasure. That's something that should be clear to the judge, but we don't know about it in public. So he gets threatened with something that someone else did, the intelligence community did, probably to protect his operations. So there's a lot of different things here that as we dig into it, we find out there's a much bigger story here. Now, here's the big thing. I don't think this is going to stay secret much longer. Why?
Because he's appealing, correct? He
is appealing. And guess what lawyer he just happened to land as his new lawyer? The former acting general counsel of the CIA, guy. When you get that level of help, when you get that level of a lawyer, national security expert, big things are on the way. One of the things I'm working on right now, we know that Ahmad Zubairi was very close to Joe Biden and Joe Biden's body man. Now the question becomes, did he have anything
explain,
to do with Hunter Biden?
you're using Washington speak.
Yep.
What's a body man? Explain to our millions of listeners.
Aide de camp, the aide that's always near the
guy who's always next to the principal.
Always there, yes. Right. And so we know, I've seen a lot of communications between Ahmad Zubairi and Biden's body man. Now the question is Hunter Biden in this circle? Is Rosemont Seneca in this circle? We're working on some news stories on that right now, but I think we're at the beginning of a tip of a very large iceberg. I think there's going to be a lot more revelations coming out of Ahmad Zubairi's case.
We're out of time. Follow this man, Jay Solomon Reports, on Twitter. Bookmark his webpage. We put the 5 stories on my webpage every single day, top stories. But go to justthenews.com. Last 10 seconds, John. Given your decades of experience, this story has the potential to get even bigger, doesn't it?
I think so. We're going to keep working it, and as we come up with more things, we'll come back on your show, Seb.
Democrat candidates being funded by an individual sent to prison for 12 years for using foreign assets turns up as an intelligence community asset. And then he gets the former CIA chief counsel as his lawyer. This story has legs. God bless you, John. I'm Sebastian Gorka. Next,
Thanks,
Jason Chaffetz here on America First.